The fear in the market is slowly heading away, and we are printing green candles, and everybody loves green candles, and they only listen to green candles, which is what we're seeing on Bitcoin. Finally, a little bit of a breakout, a little bit of hopium. This still isn't good enough, and I'm going to go into that in just a second, because look at the longs. Everybody's going long again, which is awful for the market. This means everybody's going 100x, 500x longs, and they need to get flushed out. And we're thinking about 106k. So maybe that is what we're going to come down to before we head higher. Another potential buy opportunity for people who aren't in yet, and maybe you're looking to get in because of this breakout. But I think Bitcoin is probably going to start sending very soon. Now, we don't know how high it's going to go. It could be 20%, it could be 100%, but ETH looks like it's going to go to about 4,800. It looks like it wants to pump hard, and it wants to pump higher. It was actually outperforming Bitcoin at certain parts of the weekend as well. So I'd keep an eye on this. I am going to be taking profit at the top of this with ETH, because I'm in ETH at the moment. But case one, BTC is up 20%, or BTC does a 2x. Either way, ETH will 2x, ZEC will 4x, and Tau will 4x as well, apparently. Now, finally, Bitcoin's getting some inflow, especially because you can look at the pattern here. It keeps bouncing off this region here and getting rejected off this region up here. Now, we want it to pump higher and harder above the all-time highs to give us that final push into the end of the year, but we'll see if that does happen. Now, Tau is on a rip in the last 3 months. It's absolutely tearing, and this could mean AI coins are going to go crazy too. But the AI coins that I've been looking at, or the large caps, look dead at the moment, especially something like FET or Fetch AI. Look at this, it's been dying. What about Render? I think you need to be in the right place, because even Render is slowly dying. It seems like it's had its run, and maybe it will come back. Hopefully it does for the people who are holding it. But the people who held from the tops have just been smoked. They've got no money left. And ZEC, or privacy coins, are also doing very well. This has been on a tear for a while, you know. It's been up only. Look at the state of that. It's trading like a meme coin. And I know it's had highs before. Maybe even if it comes close to that, it'll be crazy. But at this time, I wouldn't want to get into ZEC, I'm going to be honest. I still think we're in fear. Let me actually look at the coin market cap fear and greed index, because it seems more like neutral, but we are still in fear, which is what it is saying at the moment. But certain people believe that the stock market will top, and it has topped, which means money will flow into crypto. But I don't understand how money's going to flow into crypto if the stocks have topped, because people are scared of risk assets. You know, if the price is going down, people are more likely to sell, and people are more likely to buy as the price is going up. So if it has topped, especially a local top, the only time I see crypto pumping is once the stock market starts to go up again. So that's in November, which is what this guy believes. And it makes sense, especially with the RSI. I know you can't always trust it, but it seems like we may have hit a local top for stocks. Bitcoin weekly closed bearish. This weekly retest is the last chance. We have to go to about 115k. We need some solid pumps very soon. I can't believe the CEO of Coinbase said this.
I'm here in Washington, D.C. again, fighting for your rights to try to get some market structure legislation passed for crypto. This would be foundational, just like we did for stablecoins a few months ago with the Genius Act. Market structure legislation protects all the other non-stablecoin crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. The Senate is strongly supportive of getting this done. The members that I met with on both sides of the aisle are ready to get this legislation passed, and there's draft text now being exchanged back and forth and with the industry for comment, which is great. We saw a lot of alignment today. Now, of course, this hasn't stopped the big banks from trying to throw a wrench into things, and they're trying to ban rewards on stablecoins. The members of the Senate who I spoke to, they're not going to let that happen. That was already litigated and decided in the Genius Act for stablecoins. They're not going to bring it up again. But barring these little details here and there, I think this thing has a good chance of getting done. I've actually never been more bullish on market structure getting passed. It's a freight train leaving the station. So we're going to keep showing up and fighting for your rights. You can do a lot to help by going to standwithcrypto.org and contacting your representatives. Let them know that you want to see market structure legislation passed for crypto. Thanks.
That's crazy, bro. And this guy's the flipping, CEO of Coinbase. That's crazy. Is a scammer because Coinbase fees are disgusting, but we need that. Supports our zones and not promises facts. How the tables have turned. How to make money trading ETH. I joined OnlyFans, bruh. Bruh. That's gonna be us lot. Bruh. Bruh. Holy. Higher low is in, but I'm not paying attention until 116k. This line here. That's the first higher high. All the rest is noise. It's facts. This could be a lower high and it could roll over. If we see that, that'd be disgusting. There is no top to price because there is no bottom to corruption. That's a fact. Sellers are totally exhausted. Look at the volume apparently of Ryujin. Haven't looked at Ryujin and Omikami in a while. I just want them to pump, please, because people only believe in green candles. And are you ready? It looks like a buy signal coming for BTC. Because if this is a lower high and it goes into that, then that might be a bigger buy zone and then it might fly higher. But hopefully we don't get that. But it is a possibility, especially with the liquidations that we're seeing.
The only thing holding back crypto from breaking all-time highs is the fact that Trump put 100% tariffs on China, and he's giving signs that that tariff policy is about to be lifted.
We are in a very strong position because of tariffs. We're in a very powerful position because of the fact that we have tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be in a very weak position. We would be in a...
Now listen to what he's saying. This is negotiation talk. He's talking about having a strong position versus a weak position. He's trying to negotiate with China to work out a deal. He doesn't want 100% tariffs.
weakened state. But with tariffs, we've made hundreds of billions of dollars, not only from China, but from others. And China wants to talk, and we like talking to China. So we have a very good relationship, and we're going to be meeting in South Korea a couple of weeks.
He said, we have a very good relationship, and they're going to meet in South Korea. What's going to happen in South Korea is they're going to work out a deal. He's going to remove or extend the 100% tariffs on China. The market is going to not only recover, but Bitcoin is going to break past all-time high. Because this type of stuff really does affect the United States economy. These are business people. Let me show you what the CEO of NVIDIA is saying about it.
At the moment, we are 100% out of China. And so China is 0% of, we went from 95% market share to 0%. And so I can't imagine any policymaker thinking that that's a good idea. That whatever policy we implemented caused America to lose one of the largest markets in the world to 0%. But anyhow, in all of our forecasts, if there are any shareholders out there, all of our forecasts, we're assuming zero for China. If anything happens in China, which I hope it will, it'll be a bonus. But it's a large market. China is the second largest computer market in the world. It is a vibrant ecosystem. I think it's a mistake for the United States to not participate.
And the truth is that Trump does want to participate. He just wants the upper hand. So obviously these are negotiation tactics. And the person that can read between the lines is going to make a lot of money off the market. See, what people don't comprehend is that Trump has done this before. On Liberation Day, he declared a baseline 10% tariff on virtually all imports beginning April 5th. Look at April 5th and what happened to Bitcoin's price. That's right here. That was the exact local bottom of Bitcoin's price that got us to break out of this point of resistance. Look, resistance, resistance, resistance. Right here was Liberation Day. This was an executive order declaring a national emergency over U.S. trade deficit. And they put a 10% baseline tariff on all imports beginning April 5th right here. Look at the price of Bitcoin. We broke past this resistance and made our way to all-time high. So this tariff negotiation is not, I repeat, not a bad thing for the markets. But because people do not know how to read between the lines, this marked the exact top. October 10th is when Trump announced that he's putting 100% tariffs on China as a negotiation tactic. It brought the market down short term, and we could be bouncing right now. He said it's going to go in November 1st, and I believe he's going to extend it or delete it before November 1st. I hope you're prepared.
Damn, November might be pump season, bros. Get ready. If we're going to get an alt season, if we're going to get Bitcoin to smoke and absolutely tear through its all-time high, November the 1st may be the catalyst. We need something. This asset class, this whole crypto facade needs something, and that could be it. This is the worst sentiment I've seen since the FTX crash bottom. I called at 15k. Most are calling for a bear market. Max Pain is higher. Please, Bitcoin, fly.
The only thing...
Bitcoin is breaking the downtrend. Started along. It's actually broken the downtrend. This could be the start of something insane.
95% of all Bitcoin's been mined, but 95% of the world doesn't own Bitcoin. So I just think that there's still a huge demand versus supply imbalance, meaning there's a lot more potential buyers of Bitcoin over the next 10 years. And so I think there's a lot of upside into year end.
Into your like 150 target.
Yeah, 150,
150,000.
maybe 200, even 250 this year.
What? 150 to 200 to even 250. And what's you don't have a terminal price on that, do you?
Well, it's, I think at a minimum it should have the same network value as gold. And if you look at above ground gold, it's probably 23 trillion. So that would be, 1.2 million for Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin is more valuable than gold. So, Bitcoin could be 2 million, 3 million long term. Even higher. 95% of all.
I know they're trying to make everybody buy the top, but he's got a point. And plus, nobody now, especially after this correction, expects Bitcoin to go on a tear, for example, to 200k. They can't see it. It's not fathomable. And to me, it's not fathomable to do that by the end of the year, because everyone's calling for a bear market, and Andrew Tate's calling for 26k. So, if that does happen, that would be the max pain trade, because everybody are getting late to try and profit off the trade, and there'd be max FOMO. Every time it's over for Bitcoin, it pumps higher, especially in this bull market. Now, if you still believe it's a bull market, it's over is usually a very, very, very good sign. Wow. People are thinking altcoins have no way back. Study Casper is trending. You don't need to study anything but the charts, and for some homework, throw the volume on there and see if it matches. Yeah, Casper doesn't look great, man. I'm going to be honest. If it doesn't pump here, if it doesn't pump at 5 cents, it might be over, bro. Until it's not. Because it needs to go. If it's going to go, it needs to go now. It has to. And it is pumping. But if this is a lower high, it's over, dog. It looks like the trend is shifting. We shall see. I don't want to give false hope, and I want to be as realistic as possible. Bitcoin is not crypto. And what he means by that is Bitcoin on its own is now treated like a stock. That's what people look at it at. They use it as leveraged stocks to make more money. And on the RSI, the daily RSI has reached a zone where recoveries have started several times in the past few months. A drop toward the 30 level on the daily RSI would likely offer a buying opportunity, as mentioned before. This suggests that both the price and the RSI still have room to move lower, although the potential does not necessarily need to be used. It could go lower, and that would be a very good buying zone, Very, very good buying zone if it's not over. But everybody's going to think it's over if that happens. This guy was thinking it's going to trade sideways and give us max pain. I'd rather start trading penny stocks and suffer like this again. But thankfully for him, to be honest, thankfully for all of us, it's pumped higher. Thankfully, it's broken out of that rubbish range. Do you believe in alt season? The Binance Futures top 50 are getting smoked. It's nasty out here, man. And alt season doesn't seem to be the case. And everyone holds altcoins. So maybe we may not get the broad-based alt season that we were thinking we may get. It may only be the top performers like the BNBs, like the Solana, like the XRPs that are going to move. Like the Dogecoins. Because that's where money's rotating. Because people look at Bitcoin and think, $110,000 a coin, I'm good. I'll buy XRP, it's only $2.46. They're not going to scroll all the way down to the crap that most people hold. It's just the unfortunate reality. I still believe they will use the same date, so I think we are going to drop 21st to 22nd. What date are we on today? We're on the 20th. We may have a day or two more of pumping, potentially, according to this guy, because I probably do see one more low just to scare everyone off. Extreme fear, and then we may fly higher. People think every time we get a big liquidation it's just going to magically reverse. That's not how it works, but we do look a lot better than we did a few days ago. However, we're pulling back right now. We have broken the trend line, which is the first step. Now we need a higher low, about here, even here, 106, even all the way down to there, even all the way down here, 104, and then fly higher. Give us a double bottom and please fly, man. We need it. Please, end of the year, be bullish. Please. The catalyst could be insane. Please.